ADHD and productivity, how does this even work? And before we dive into the actual video, let me thank you for even clicking on a video that has the word productivity in it, because to be honest, you're probably quite allergic to this word by now. And you may even be thinking that life is hard as it is, and trying to be productive on top of this is kind of asking for too much. But let's make a difference between staying busy, trying to always perform and produce a result, which is the capitalistic dream, and trying to be efficient with your time, with the opportunity that is given to you to achieve something that matters to you. This is the healthy productivity we're gonna talk about. And as somebody who is diagnosed with ADHD, but I've also coached people exactly for productivity and time management, I actually have quite a lot of tips. So I'm gonna divide this video into two parts in order to avoid having an hour-long video. So in this video, I'm going to give you 7 tips to help your productivity regardless of your ADHD. And we're going to start with, you probably struggle to break things into smaller steps because one, it's not that fun. As an ADHD person, you thrive on impulsivity, interest, desire. None of this is planning and taking a step back before you actually jump into a new project. It's no fun to plan, but it helps to actually execute the projects. And not only that, but your impulsive behavior to jump into every single project that sounds interesting to you right away and try to complete the whole thing all at once, it's actually what gets you tired and in the long term burnout. So not only you don't feel really good, but you also do not complete the tasks, which not only is the opposite of productivity, but also leads to this lack of satisfaction. Because if you actually break your task into smaller steps, you have the opportunity to experience the sense of achievement at every little step, which means spike of dopamine, and your ADHD brain that is usually low on dopamine is gonna thank you for that. So basically you have to accept 2 things here. Breaking things into smaller steps, it's not easy, not at all. You gotta use your creativity to do it in a way that works for you. And number 2, you have to accept that it's not gonna be that fun. But the benefit is that you actually get things done without a burnout. I think that's worth trying. Let's now go to tip number 2. Your priorities and goals change over time because you change over time, and your productivity tools should be aligned with that change so that you can continue to get what you want at different stages of your life. So let's say right now your goal is to create some routines so that you have less chaotic days. Perfect, do that. But in 6 months from now, you may want to embrace your anxiety and insecurities. And let's say you want to do new stuff. You want to be more open to trying new things. Well, for that goal, building routines might not be the best tool. And if you try to use the same tool that no longer serves you, this will require a lot more willpower, which is not a recipe for productivity. Trying to use the same tool because it worked once is either a form of laziness or wishful thinking, and neither works. Productivity tip number 3. When you follow what you want impulsively, more often than not, your choices will be about pleasure, because as an ADHD person, you usually have low dopamine and you're in this never-ending cycle of low-high dopamine. So you oftentimes feel sad and demotivated. So you do just anything to feel better, right? And if in general they say that life is a constant pursuit of happiness, I would say the ADHD life is the constant pursuit of dopamine. However, dopamine is pleasure and serotonin is happiness. What's the difference? Pleasure requires something external, a substance that you could grab and have, such as alcohol, food, video games, etc. And pleasure only lasts until you have that substance available to you. Happiness is an internal state. You don't have to go get something in order to feel it, and therefore it lasts for much longer. I can talk about the difference between serotonin and dopamine in another video, but for this one, the point is, if you want to be more productive, focus on building some serotonin because you need a long-lasting feel-good mood in order to regularly complete tasks. Plan and diversify your downtime activities. Instead of immediately reaching for quick dopamine-inducing activities like mindless scrolling, eating sugary foods, or drinking alcohol, start with activities that foster serotonin production. I like to think about this as do something else before scrolling. This could be stretching, yoga, preparing a healthy snack, listening to music, going for a walk, calling a friend, tending to plants or pets, or taking a warm shower. Choose activities that are enjoyable but are not overly stimulating because your goal is to reach a sense of content and well-being without guilt. And if you didn't know that this is the goal, this is the goal. After engaging in those serotonin boosting activities, if you still feel the need for immediate pleasure, go ahead and have it, because as an ADHD person, there will be days when you really need that. But even then, just the fact that you try the serotonin activity first and then you got the pleasure dopamine second, this alone will make for a much more balanced downtime routine in your life. So just try it, nothing to lose. Productivity tip number 4. Alright, let's now use the good old writing to make your intentions a bit more objective. Before starting a task, write down what you think will be challenging about it and how you plan to overcome those challenges. After completing the task, reflect on what actually happened. This is a coaching exercise and it's gonna help you become more aware of your thought processes, but also of your problem-solving strategies, potentially showing you where you could improve for future similar tasks. It may sound annoying to do it, almost as if you're doing extra work, but in reality, it will decrease your anxiety, it will decrease your self-doubt that you cannot complete the task because the task is no longer so ambiguous and difficult as you just wrote it down. And to be honest, for ADHD people, the sense of ambiguity and the sense of self-doubt that you cannot really do what is expected from you to do, those two are the major reasons for procrastination. So sometimes knowing what doesn't work for you is as good as knowing what does work for you. So by doing this little writing exercise, you're investing in your future success. You'll thank yourself later. Productivity tip number 5. Honestly, meditation, when done regularly, had helped me as well as Adderall. And if I've just heard this, I wouldn't have believed it. If I didn't go through this, I wouldn't have believed it. So I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to give yourself a chance and try it. But I also will recommend you to start with a bit of a twist. If you try from 0, not meditating at all, to go to 100 where you're sitting down calmly doing nothing and you're observing your thoughts for like 30 minutes every day, I almost guarantee you're gonna fail. Instead of that, engage in multi-sensory mindful activity. For example, use a stress ball while you're practicing deep breathing. As you knead the ball, concentrate on its texture, concentrate on the rhythm of your breathing. You can also incorporate movement. Just walk around and just do the activity with your hand. Keep thinking about your breath and just stroll around and keep yourself engaged. The key is to focus on those physical sensations, aligning your body and mind in the present moment. ADHD often involves challenges with attention and impulsivity. So by focusing on tactical sensations like the feel of the stress ball and controlled breathing, you activate different areas of the brain, which then helps in maintaining focus. The physical act of kneading or walking adds a kinetic element that can further ground your thoughts. To me, learning how to focus on my breath for 10 minutes teaches me how to focus. That's a skill, and the more you practice it, the better you become at it. You may never be able to focus for as long as somebody without ADHD, given that you don't take medication. I'll give you that, of course, but you can still improve your focus if you practice. And if you can focus on how you breathe, then you can focus for 10 minutes on how the sky looks like or how your clothes feel like. You can choose on what to focus regardless of does it make sense or not, as long as you practice focusing, because then you can take that skill and implement it in less interesting things such as work, assignments, somebody talking to you without you interrupting, things like that. Productivity tip number 6. As I said, productivity is the mean to the goal. You have to have a reason why you want to be productive. However, for ADHD people, having a logical reason to be productive doesn't really work. It's more about having a challenge or a competition. In a way, for ADHD people, life needs to be interesting. Otherwise, it kind of feels dull and boring and definitely demotivating. Introduce challenge or competition into your routine tasks to make them more engaging. For instance, when organizing a workspace, set a timer for a specific duration, like 15 minutes. The goal is to see how much of the disk can be organized within this time frame. This approach transforms a potentially overwhelming task into a game-like scenario, adding urgency and sense of challenge. Even if the task isn't completed when the timer goes off, the focus here is on the period of sustained activity, which is a significant achievement for somebody with ADHD. Final productivity tip for this video, number 7. Yes, I would very happily remind you how important physical activity is for people with ADHD, and it goes far beyond physical health in terms of like your weight balance or your diet balance. It has to do with attention and productivity. Physical activity increases neurotransmitters like dopamine and norepinephrine, both of which play crucial roles in attention and thinking processes, which obviously is particularly beneficial for you if you're struggling with ADHD. Exercise doesn't need to be intense. It can be as simple as a brisk walk or organizing a room. The key is consistent movement. For example, incorporating a 30-minute walk into your daily routine can be incredibly effective. This consistent, moderate exercise can help to burn off excess energy, leading to a calmer state and improved focus. Said in a different way, if you want your brain to be able to focus, you have to give it time to be a child, to move around mindlessly, to daydream, to just exist. And that movement, along with the nice neurotransmitters, along with losing the excessive energy, is going to also help you after that sit down, focus, and complete whatever you actually want to complete with your day. And please don't think about 30-minute walk as the only one way to do it. I always recommend flexibility. Maybe for you, it's gonna work better if you split it into 3 parts of 10 minutes. Just walk around the house for 10 minutes, clean up the house for 10 minutes, do any activity in a completely mindless, daydreamy mode so that your brain can rest from the effort to focus. And I understand how walking can be boring, so combine it with listening to a podcast, call a friend. In my case, I love to call my boyfriend when I need to go somewhere because I just don't want to walk. I don't want to leave the house most of the time, but I know it helps me. So I just find something nice that I can do in the meantime and move my ass so that I can feel better and achieve more. Finally, I'm also going to recommend you watch the motivational ADHD video. I'm going to leave the link somewhere here because obviously productivity and motivation are quite linked. And if this video was already helping you, then I think the other one is going to work for you as well. Thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to see you in the next one. Bye.